According to a recent survey by PwC, it is estimated that between 1 in 3 and 1 in 4 people are very likely to quit their company in the next 12 months. But what are the real reasons people are likely to quit their jobs? And how can your workplace avoid the mistakes that many companies are making that cause people to quit? Well, in this video, I'll share 10 of the most common reasons people are likely to quit their jobs. But more importantly, what your workplace can do to ensure it keeps hold of its best people. Now, the first reason is something that I almost fell victim to in my own business. The loyal subscribers of this channel know that I'm the founder of a business called Loving Life. And one of the services that we offer in the UK is on-site chair massage. And in order for this side of the business to work, I rely on a lovely team of chair massage therapists. And I've got a great team, but it hasn't always been this way. See, there was a time in my business where I had a rotten apple that was impacting my staff. This member of staff often turned up late to jobs, and then when they got there, they often took a back seat while the other massage therapists were working hard. This, of course, frustrated the other amazing and professional therapists, but at the time, I had no idea how bad it was until I spoke to them. And this almost caused me to lose some of my amazing team. But fortunately, I got rid of the rotten apple before it was too late. But one of the reasons people quit their jobs is because of a toxic work environment. When people are not enjoying the environment they're working in, they are more likely to quit. So here's a few things to ensure your workplace isn't toxic. Firstly, hire and retain the right people. One toxic employee can damage an entire team. Prioritize cultural fit and address behavior issues early. And do your best to create a culture of transparency. Employees need to feel safe speaking up. Encourage open door policies and anonymous feedback options. And address conflict early. Don't wait for resentment to build. Have structured conflict resolution processes in place. Now, of course, there's a lot more you can do, but let's move on to the next reason people quit. And this is something I've seen happen time and time again. Imagine this, someone new joins the team. They're eager, motivated, and full of ideas. They bring fresh energy to the team, always willing to take on challenges. In the beginning, they're excited to learn, grow, and contribute. But as time goes on, something shifts. They stop speaking up in meetings, their enthusiasm fades, they start doing the bare minimum. Not because they're lazy, but because they've realized something. No matter how hard they work, there's nowhere for them to go. They've realized that no matter how hard they work, there are a lack of opportunities for growth within the company. When people feel stagnant, it can cause them to start looking elsewhere. If they don't see a future in the company, they'll build one somewhere else. But here's a few tips to help retain these members of staff. Provide a clear path. Employees should know exactly what it takes to move up in your organization. If they don't see a roadmap, they'll assume there isn't one. Offer training and skill development. Invest in mentorship programs, leadership coaching, or workshops that educate employees. If you don't help them grow, another company will. And with that being said, if you want free resources to inspire, motivate, and empower those in the workplace, join the free mailing list. The link's in the description box. Many years ago, while I was at university, I worked in a retail store. I was great at my job and always got fantastic customer feedback, but I was starting to feel that my work ethic wasn't being compensated. I was paid £6.50 an hour, which was minimum wage at the time. I know, I don't look old enough. But at the time, I decided to write to HR and ask for a 50p pay rise. I was one of the best salespeople and explained in detail my rationale for wanting a pay rise. But guess what? They declined my request without good reason. So guess what? I found a similar job that was paying £7.50 an hour and had a better commission structure. I didn't feel that I was being adequately compensated for my work. So I left and found a better opportunity elsewhere. Inadequate compensation is another reason people quit their jobs. And the solution to this is pretty simple. Give people competitive compensation and benefits. Pay crumbs, attract mice. Reward fairly, earn lions. Imagine this, an employee walks into work feeling completely unmotivated. But it wasn't always like this. In fact, when they first started, they were excited about the role, the company, and their potential future there. But over time, something changed. They felt undervalued, their ideas were ignored, and they second-guessed every decision because they knew their work would be picked apart by their manager. One day, an opportunity comes along, same role, same pay, but a fresh start. And without hesitation, they take it. So what went wrong? The truth is, employees don't leave companies. They leave the people leading them. Poor leadership can make even the best employees quit. When people feel micromanaged, aren't recognized for their hard work, don't have any real support, and their concerns are ignored, they'll walk out the door quicker than you realize. But this can all be prevented. Leaders should lead and not just manage. They should trust and empower their team. They should encourage open communication. They should recognize contributions, and they should give autonomy and stop micromanaging. And if the leaders in your workplace need help with this, get in touch and let us help you create leaders that inspire and motivate your workforce. This reason people quit often starts small. A project has taken longer than expected to finish, and an employee stays late to finish it. Then, a week later, it happens again. Before long, they're skipping lunch, answering emails at night, and they feel like they can never switch off. At first, they push through telling themselves it's just a busy period. But weeks turn into months, and living in exhaustion becomes normal. The stress piles up, and soon they're running on empty until one day they can't do it anymore. They burn out. Burnout isn't just about heavy workloads. It's about employees feeling like they have no control, no time to recover, and no support to lighten the load. Burnout and stress is causing people to quit because of unrealistic expectations. Employees feel like they're constantly chasing deadlines, always feeling on. Working during personal hours drives people mad. Lack of support, they're drowning in work and there's no one there to help them, and no room to breathe. They have no time to recharge before the next wave of work hits them. But here's a few things companies can do to reduce the chances of people leaving because of burnout. Firstly, set realistic expectations. Nobody can give 100% when they're running on 10%. Encourage real work-life balance. Don't just talk about it. Set parameters in place to ensure people aren't working beyond their hours. And check in. Don't just check progress. Ask people how they're feeling, not just where they're at with the latest project. Rested employees perform better, stay longer, and do better work. If you don't prioritize their health and well-being, they'll find another company that does. And speaking of well-being, we've put together a well-being calendar with all the important dates from this year. To download it for free, head to the link in the description box. For years, people lived with the idea of work hard now, enjoy life later. But times have changed. People aren't waiting until retirement to start living. They want a career that fits around their life, not a life that fits around their career. Yet, in so many workplaces, the expectation is still the same. Long hours, late nights, and always being available. But here's the thing. If you don't respect your employees' time, they will find a company that does. Poor work-life balance is a major reason people quit. Rigid schedules, no separation between work and life, lack of freedom to work in a way that suits them best, and the generic hustle culture is slowly breaking employees down. But companies can fix this to help retain their best people. Offer flexible work arrangements where possible. Remote work, hybrid schedules, or flexible hours can make all the difference. Respect personal time. Stop expecting people to be available 24/7. Ensure their time off is truly time off, and focus on results, not hours worked. Give people the autonomy to work in a way that maximizes their productivity. The best employees don't just want a paycheck, they want a life. And if your workplace doesn't support that, it's just another contributing factor as to why they might quit. But even with great work-life balance, the next reason is something that many workplaces overlook, but can easily be fixed. Have you ever worked your hardest on a project, put in extra hours, went the extra mile, and no one even noticed? It's frustrating, right? Now imagine that happening over and over again. Weeks, months, maybe even years of hard work with little to no acknowledgement. At some point, people stop trying. They start asking themselves, why should I keep putting in this effort if it doesn't get recognized or acknowledged? And then suddenly, overnight, they decide to resign. It seems like it's sudden, but the frustration has been building up over a long period of time. People don't just want to be paid. They want to feel appreciated and valued. Lack of appreciation makes people feel invisible. And for some people, failure to recognize efforts can feel like criticism. If people don't hear positive feedback, they might assume they're not doing well. But here's a few things workplaces can do to ensure their people are feeling valued and appreciated. Make recognition a habit. Appreciation shouldn't just happen once a year in performance reviews. Companies should regularly acknowledge great work and tailor recognition to individuals where needed. Some people love public praise, others prefer a private thank you. Know what resonates with your team and celebrate the small wins. Recognition isn't just for major milestones. A simple well done can go a long way. People often stay where they feel valued, and if you don't acknowledge their contributions, another company will. Have you ever felt stuck in a job that no longer excites you? At first, everything is new, you're learning, growing, and feeling challenged. But after a while, it becomes predictable. The work is repetitive, the tasks are the same, and nothing is pushing you to grow. And here's the thing, people don't want to feel like they're just going through the motions. They want to be challenged to develop new skills, feel like they're progressing, not just existing. But when that stops happening, employees check out. Not all at once, but slowly. First they disengage, then they stop putting in extra effort, and before you know it, they're quitting. Repetitive and boring work kills motivation. People need a little variety and purpose in what they do. People also need to feel like they're learning. If they aren't learning, they're likely to outgrow the role and leave. The best employees want to be pushed and not left stagnant. So here are a few things workplaces can do. Give employees ownership, let them take on projects, lead initiatives, or solve bigger problems. Provide learning opportunities. Invest in training, mentorship, and skill development workshops. Encourage innovation. Create a culture where employees can bring ideas to the table and potentially see them implemented. And lastly, check in regularly. Ask employees if they feel challenged. Ask them what skills they want to develop. Employees don't often leave because the work is too hard. They leave because the work is too easy. If you're not giving them reasons to grow, they'll find a place that will. Now, just quickly, if you found this video useful so far, do me a favor and press the like button. It helps us more than you realize. Sometimes people don't leave because they're unhappy. They leave because something better comes along. It's not always about bad management, burnout, or lack of growth. Sometimes an employee enjoys their role, likes their team, and even respects their leader. But then they get an offer they can't refuse. More money, better benefits, more flexibility, or maybe an opportunity that aligns better with their long-term goals. And here's the reality. Every employee is open to a better offer, even the most loyal ones. Part of the reason people go to work is for money. If another company puts up a better financial offer, they're likely to listen. And that's not it. A job offer that offers a clear pathway forward, more meaningful work, and better work-life balance is hard to turn down. But here's a few things companies can do to help reduce their chances of losing their best talent. Well, stay competitive with pay and perks. Workplaces should review salaries and benefits regularly to ensure they're not falling behind. And offer career growth. Employees should see a future without needing to leave. But the best tip is to create a workplace where people don't want to leave. The best way to stop employees leaving for better opportunities is to make sure your workplace is the better opportunity. Have you ever been left in the dark about something important at work? Maybe there were changes happening, but no one told you what was going on. Maybe leadership made a big decision and you found out after it was already done. Or maybe you just had no idea where the company was heading. And that's the problem. When communication is poor, people don't just feel out of the loop. They feel unimportant. And when people feel disconnected from what's happening, they disengage. Over time, the lack of clarity turns into frustration. And before you know it, they're updating their CV. People want to know what's happening. And if they don't understand the company goals, how can they feel connected to them? When workplaces aren't transparent, people start assuming the worst. But here's a few things that can help. Be transparent about company decisions. Employees shouldn't have to rely on office gossip to know what's going on. Keep teams informed, whether it's with weekly updates, town hall meetings, or Q&A sessions. And encourage two-way communication. Employees should feel safe giving feedback without fear of being ignored or penalized. Good communication is essential in every workplace. And poor communication is destroying workplaces across the globe. And to ensure you have the tools to encourage good communication in your workplace, you need to watch this video right here. Stop poor communication destroying your workplace. And remember, a happy workplace is a productive workplace.